Yeah. Adjust your focus. Turn the volume up. Welcome to the Locked In Podcast, coming to you live from Greater Philadelphia. Let's get into it. Yeah. Outside world is noisy. Constant chatter on the line. We tune out all the static just to focus on the grind. Deep dives, real talk, no holding back today. We're cutting through the clutter, got a lot we need to say. From the hustle to the vision, every story, every angle. Untangling the threads that everybody tries to mangle. Cause when the lights go up and the mic is on, we're locked in. All day long, no distractions now. We're steady in the zone. You're tuned into the frequency you claim is your own. Yeah, welcome to the moment where the real work's done. The Locked In Podcast, #1. Yeah, #1. Yeah, the Locked In Podcast, #1. Bring your mind to the table, drop your doubts at the door. We're chasing after insights that you haven't heard before. Every episode a lesson, every guest a brand new spark. Light a fire in the conversation, shining in the dark. So settle in, tap in, let the energy flow. It's time to take control and start the show. Cause when the lights go up and the mic is on, we're locked in. All day long, no distractions now. We're steady in the zone. You're tuned into the frequency you claim is your own. Yeah, welcome to the moment where the real work's done. The Locked In Podcast, #1. No distractions now. We're steady in the zone. You're tuned into the frequency you claim is your own. Yeah, welcome to the moment where the real work's done. The Locked In Podcast, #1. Yeah, #1. Yeah, the Locked In Podcast, #1. Locked in. Stay focused. Let's get into it. Yeah. Yeah. No distractions now. We're steady in the zone. You're tuned into the frequency you claim is your own. Yeah, welcome to the moment where the real work's done. The Locked In Podcast, #1. Yeah, #1. Yeah, Locked In Podcast, #1. No distractions now. We're steady in the zone. You're tuned into the frequency you claim is your own. Yeah, welcome to the moment where the real work's done. The Locked In Podcast, #1. Yeah, #1. Yeah, the Locked In Podcast, #1.
Yeah, locked in. Night vision on, I see the path now. Blocking all the noise until the bag's loud. I'm locked in, focus on the grind. Yeah, locked in, leave the world behind. Got that tunnel vision on my mind. Till the morning light.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to the Locked In Podcast, episode 261. 261 as we near nearly the 6-year mark of this podcast, which is insane to really think about. But what we're ultimately talking about tonight is how to reclaim your time, how to reclaim your life, how to reclaim your environment. I feel like in this day and age, this is such a big issue. It is something that I feel like everybody deals with at some point of their life. And a lot of times it's from your social conditioning, kind of how you were indoctrinated, the things you learned from your mom, your dad, family members, caregivers, friends, coaches, teachers, mentors. It's a lot of the things that were indoctrinated in you, or you probably have some level of trauma as well that has brought you there. So tonight, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about how to reclaim that time. I'm going to have my boy Zach coming on live from California in a little bit, West Coast. And then Rob and Rich, I don't think are coming on tonight. They're not coming on. And then Candace was going to come on too, but she also can't make it. So it might just be me, Nina, and Zach on here tonight. So Zach will be on shortly, and then Nina likely afterwards. So I'm going to break down what we're going to be talking about here tonight. Guys, if you're watching, first of all, on YouTube, Facebook, whatever platform you're watching on, hit that like button. Really, really helps us out. The algorithm pushes this content out to people who ultimately need to see this. So hit that like button. If you're part of the Facebook group, I already appreciate that, because if you wouldn't be liking anything if you're not in the group. So thank you for the support. Like I said, hit that like button. On YouTube, if you're not subscribed, hit that notification bell to turn those notifications on, and hit that subscribe button in the corner, because we post content every single week related to either personal growth, personal development, and all different aspects. So if you like that type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Other than that, just comment in tonight, guys. We'll have an honest, open discussion here tonight. That'll be awesome. If you're commenting on YouTube, I can put your comments up on the screen. If you're commenting on Facebook, due to meta privacy concerns, I can't put your comments on the screen, but I can still read them out loud. Instagram, same thing. I don't think I can put your comments on the screen for Instagram. Lately, in the last few weeks, I haven't been able to do that. So due to their privacy concerns, probably because it's meta as well, can't put them on the screen, but I can read them out loud. So guys, welcome to the discussion. Welcome to the room. Let's lock in. All right, so the key talking points, what we're going to be breaking down tonight, is how to get out of reaction mode, because I think a lot of times we are stuck in reaction mode. We're not actually living our life. We're not living with intention and purpose every single day. And depending on what you have going on in your life, if you have a lot of different things, this becomes relatively common. I think at some point of our lives, everybody has been living in reaction mode. You know, there's always probably been some type of point in your life where you've been living in reaction mode. And some people catch that earlier in life and they navigate it, and other people, they catch that later in life. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just, how do we break that mindset? How do we break that frequency, right? How do we get out of reaction mode? How do we reclaim our daily time? Other talking points I'm going to go through is how to set non-negotiable boundaries. I'll pose questions to you guys. And then in segment 3, I'm going to talk about changing and ruling your environment, because that's really, really important, is to be able to claim your environment, remove all the bullshit, remove all the things that are not going to get you to your vision, and keep it away, right? You want to make bad things like distractions and things, you want to make them harder to obtain, and you want to make the things that are actually going to help you accomplish your vision, you want to make them more easy to obtain. I'll give you examples later on. And then I'm going to go through the panelists. Like I said, it might just be me, Zach, and Nina tonight. I don't even know if Nina is fully, but Zach will be on shortly. And we'll go around the panel. Me and Zach will go back and forth, and I'll pose questions to you guys. So thank you for joining. Let's dive into this. All right. So like I said, first, we want to get to the point where we're eliminating reaction mode. We want to reclaim that daily time. A lot of it all starts from the reaction mode. What I mean is, a lot of times it's literally how you start your day. You start your day with L's a lot of times by living in reaction mode. So you are distracted from the moment you wake up. You're not waking up with intention. You're not going about your day with intention. And it really just kind of messes your entire day up. Like, I really do believe that how you start your day is going to set the precedent for the rest of your day. I firmly believe it. And the reason I firmly believe it is because, as someone who for lots of different periods of my life procrastinated, I can tell you that if I'm procrastinating to start my day, if I'm scrolling on social media, I'm hitting the snooze button a bunch of times, I'm eating something unhealthy to start the day, not getting sunlight, laying in bed until I basically have to go to work, commute, or like in periods of my life where I had to commute, or other periods of my life where I work remotely, or rolling out of bed and starting work. I can tell you that if you start the day that way, it sets the precedent for your entire day. I have personally experienced that. So it literally sets your precedent for the day. You want to start the day with W's. You want to start the day with wins. Are we perfect? No. but I think it starts with a foundation. So you want to move things. Like, I'll give you an example: reacting to your phone, to emails, to other people's emergencies, instead of proactively controlling the earliest part of your day, no matter when you wake up. I'm not saying you have to wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever works for your schedule and your life. So what you have going on in your life. Let's eliminate all the rest of the noise. Let's not compare our lives to other people. Let's not look at someone else's schedule. Oh, the social media influencers waking up at 4 a.m. I got to wake up at 4 a.m. No. You have to really dial in and really figure out what works for you. What works for your schedule. Are you married? Do you have kids? Are you single? What time do you start work for the day? Do you have a business? Do you work 9 to 5? Do you work a career where it's not a 9 to 5? It's not 9 to 5 hours. What are your hours in your career? What priorities do you have? Are you a caregiver? So there's a lot of different things that go into this of how you're going to structure your day. But what I'm saying is, I don't care what time you wake up, depending on what time your day is, like when your day starts, you want to prioritize solid habits to start that day. And that sounds pretty common, right? Like common sense. Yeah, we want to do that. But the majority of people, the average, don't start their day with wins. They just don't. And they wind up living a life where, you're not feeling. Let's see, we got some comments in here too. My boy John, he said, "Good evening, my man. Brother, what is up? Thanks for joining in." He said, "What time is it? It's peanut butter jelly time." Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. You remember that? Man, I appreciate you joining in, man. I appreciate the love. Yeah, it's but seriously, like the majority of people are not starting their day with wins. They're just not. Contrary to what you probably see on social media, most people don't show their losses. They don't show their failures. They're not transparent. And I mean, that's social media for you. You can't really get mad at people for that. It's just that's social media. But what I'm telling you is, it's so much easier to roll out of bed or stay in bed, hit the snooze button a million times because it's comfortable, scroll on social media. I'm someone who's absolutely been there for a long time. And it's still a struggle to break these habits. You have to live with intention. I think as you do the things you really don't want to do, Jocko Willink says that a lot of times. As you start to do things that you don't want to do, and like the saying goes, just do it anyway. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the guy, I actually have to get his name. He was talking about that, how Jocko just do it anyway. And the problem is a lot of people don't want to push past with adversity. They don't want to be uncomfortable. So what happens is they just stop. You know what they do? They tell themselves, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do this tomorrow. We'll change these habits tomorrow. And I've been someone that's done that. Like, it's been a tough day. Not going off of discipline. I'm going off of how I'm feeling in a certain moment. But here's the thing. I made promises to myself. I made promises to take certain things. And you know how many times I broke those promises to myself? A lot of times. And you know what it really brought me to? It started to make me not be able to trust myself. So I can tell you, as someone who's been there and sometimes still struggles with that because I procrastinated for a long time, is that you have to rebuild that trust with yourself. It is not impossible. You can turn it around. It takes the small habits. It takes you building them over time. So if you can get like 3 consistent days of doing the same thing, 4 or 5, and it's just snowballing, you start to just do it. It becomes like a habit. It just be like literally like it becomes a habit over time. And it's not just going to be like that, but it takes time. It takes time of kind of being uncomfortable and miserable for a little bit, right? It feels like work at first, and then eventually it doesn't. It actually feels good. And this is coming from people that I know have been doing this for a long time. They say, eventually it feels good. So it takes time. It's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, you just get up and you do it. It's easy to do that when you're motivated, right? At the beginning of any journey, a lot of times we're motivated, but there's going to be days where you just plateau and you're going to hit this zone where you just don't feel like doing it. You feel down, you're going to hit a low mood, and that's when you still do it anyway. So structuring your day to start, I really think helps you reclaim that time. I think literally how you set the foundation is going to start it. So what does it start by? It starts by being able to optimize as much sleep as you can possibly get the night before. Everybody's situation is different. I'm not saying you probably, if you have kids and you have a crying baby at home, you might get woken up at 2:00 in the morning. Everybody's life is different of where you're at. What I'm saying is you want to control the things that you can control and optimize it as much as possible. So look at things that you have on your to-do list. Are you reacting to other people? Do you feel like I need to respond this quickly to some people and do this and this and this? You have to think of what needs to be done today and what can be left for another day. Like worst case scenario, I can't get to it. So you have to prioritize. You have to prioritize what needs to be done in the moment and during that day. And then you have to put off not put off, but you have to, worst case scenario, it might not get done that day. But I think a lot of times we strive for a million different goals and then we don't build in time for obstacles and distractions and all the other things that we have going on in our life. And there's a lot of different things. So one of the things I'll give you by eliminating reaction mode is being a people pleaser. So basically you feel like you need to keep up with, a million work emails or friends texts and calls and all this stuff. And it's hard like to be able to juggle a million things. You have to prioritize your own health. You can't sit there and just try to prioritize that. It's good to have friends and family and connections, but communication goes a long way. So look, you let people know, I may not just so there's no miscommunication. I may not be able to get back to you at a certain time. Just understand it's not personal. It's not intentional. It's not me just ignoring you. I have a lot of different things going on, certain things that I have to prioritize, right? And you'll get back to them when you can. But make sure you get back to people, right? But you don't have to get back to people right away. I think a lot of times people prioritize, so many other people. But you know what? Who they don't prioritize? They don't prioritize themselves. You don't really owe people explanations for a lot of things. Like social media is a big one. I think a lot of people are always trying to keep up with their friend circles, trying to keep up with other people. They're trying to impress other people. And social media, I think, while I've always said this on the podcast, back when me and George used to host this together, social media can be a tool, but it's also a detriment sometimes. So you have to be honest with yourself when it comes to social media, how much you're consuming. And I would say if you're not where you want to be in life, social media should be the first one to halt. I'm going to be honest with you. Let me put this in low power mode real quick because my screen keeps going on idle, or not idle. It's fading out. And I have my notes here. But yeah, that's a big one. So you have to, what I would say is the key insights for this, how you start your day, right? This is what I'm repeating what I was saying. Let me add my brother Zach in here. Yo, what's up, brother?
Yo, what's good? What's good?
What's going on? Thanks for joining, bro.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's super awesome to be on here.
Yeah, of course, brother. Of course. Man, so what I'm basically covering right now is I'm talking about taking control of your life. I think everybody at some point they struggle with this. I think this is a big thing. A lot of people are more controlled by their environment. They're not really living each day with intention. And I was basically just reiterating that. I'll reiterate what I was saying. Basically, I was just saying that the foundation of how you start your day, I think, is so important. I think if you don't start your day on a solid footing, majority of your days, it's going to be really tough to have a solid day. Because I think if you break promises to yourself early, as you start, it's going to be difficult the rest of your day. And a lot of times we get caught in cycles where we say we have all these things we want to do. We try to set intentional goals. But if we're starting the day with L's to start, right, we're breaking promises to ourselves, it becomes a lot tougher. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I definitely do agree with the if you start your day taking L's, it's not really going to be a good day. And I do believe in that. You've got to start your day by making your bed. That's the first thing you do in the morning. You get one thing, you wake up, your first task. Don't go on social media, because social media is a big thing now, right? Don't go on social media. Wake up, walk, get out of bed, do whatever it is active. But the first and most important thing to do is make your bed. Like that's the least thing you can do. If you
Literally.
fail everything else in that day, but you make your bed, you still have that one thing where you go in at the end of the hard day and you're just like, oh, it's made. Instead of crawling into a shit show and you just like, oh great, I gotta go into bed now. So
Exactly.
yeah, I think it starts with that. And I agree. Taking control of your life is one of those things that it starts small, but it has a huge impact on you.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's actually a book on that too. It's by, I think, a Marine who wrote it or something like that. It's literally called "Make Your Bed," and it talks about that even if the rest of your day goes horrible, you'll come home to a made bed, right, that you can still crawl into. So you just try to control the things you can control, like just like little wins to start, like not hitting the snooze button. Boom, that's a W right there. Making your bed, that's a W. Getting out, getting some sunlight, even if it's for a few minutes. It's a W.
Yeah.
And I think another one is a lot of us get caught up in this one. I used to do this for a long time. Not drinking water to start your day. So like drinking caffeine to start the day, like an energy drink or a coffee. Like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with a coffee or anything like that. I drink caffeine. I'm caffeinated a lot of the time. But to start your day with water, though, like hydrate yourself, because your body needs that to start. Like it's not good to like just go right for caffeine and not drink water. And yeah, so that's a big part of it.
Yeah, that is probably a big thing. I've not been doing that recently. I've been going straight for, my morning coffee, going to work, and that's been me. So it hasn't really been the best, but yeah, no, I agree. Drinking water is a good thing. It it just makes you feel good. Drink water, and yeah, I do agree with the like the small things, right? You do the small things right, then it's the big thing. And you got to consistently work on those small things first before you can get that big thing.
Yep, absolutely. No, it starts with the small things. It definitely does. It lays the foundation. So nobody's saying you need to get up and like do whatever the next popular social media influencer is doing at 4:00 in the morning or whatever. I think a lot of people get caught up with like, oh, I have to wake up at this time or that time. Yeah, and I was actually saying this before you jumped on. Everybody's schedule is different. So you have to be very honest of like what your life looks like what your work schedule's like. Do you work a 9 to 5 or not a 9 to 5, just a career in general? And what are your hours? Yeah. Your hours might not be 9 to 5. Or do you like run a business? Do you have a wife? Do you have kids? Like your lifestyle is going to be so different. So like a lot of people I know get caught up with the standard norms of when I need to wake. It doesn't really matter at the exact time that you wake up, whatever works for your schedule. But what I would say is you want to set the foundation strong no matter what time you wake up.
Yeah. Wait. So are you saying we shouldn't wake up at 4:57 and then put our face in an ice bucket at 4:59?
Right? Cold plunging and doing all this stuff. I know some people that do that too every single day. It's like, it's great for them, but it's that's not everybody, Mm-hmm. I had a guy, Frank, who hardworking guy, dad of 2, husband, like he's out here killing it right now. Him and his wife are opening up this new gym, but he had worked in law enforcement, and he literally bet all on himself. He went all in on himself. He was able to make enough money with his fitness journey that he was able to leave. And his content, he posts like 1 million stories a day on his fitness page, and it's every single morning. He's got the timestamps. He's got the cold plunge. He's got the red light therapy, all this stuff. I'm like, that's his life, though. That is what works for him. That's his lifestyle. But my point is, like, nobody has to live like anybody else's lifestyle. You have to figure out what your vision is, what are the habits that are going to get you there, and what's important to you, and then just follow through on it. Like, I think a lot of times we lose we lose trust in ourselves. I was saying that I did that for a while. I lost trust in myself because I would like set these goals, and then I would procrastinate. I'd be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, And then like every day you're not really doing it tomorrow, or you would do it one day, but then not another day. And just weren't being, and there was this point in my life where I just wasn't being consistent. And it's like, But what I can tell you is you can rebuild that trust. It starts by the small steps. Don't overschedule yourself so much where it's so unrealistic for you to accomplish these things. You have to figure out the season of your life that you're in, what's most important to your vision in that season, and try to eliminate all the stuff that doesn't really get you to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what it comes down to. And as you build those habits, you start to have trust in yourself again. But you know, I think a lot of people go through that at some point. You know, you're just procrastinating, you're not executing. Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it really does start with the small things. And I've seen it in my own life, but it doesn't just start with you doing the small things every day. It also starts with you have to kind of like, I know it's going to sound weird, but for guys, you're going to have to like start writing it down. You're going to have to start journaling a little bit. You're going to have to start, doing like self work in like your own like little journal. Maybe, people won't see it, maybe people will, but who cares, right? Like write it down, think about like the benefits you have on other people, and think about what, the work will do for you, right? You got to work on yourself, and it just kind of works that hand in hand with the efforts.
Absolutely, man, and I don't think there's anything weird about it. You know, I think it gives you that mental clarity, it gives you that mental alignment by writing down things. Like I personally get benefit from that too because I think a lot of times I used to try to just put everything in my head, and you tend to like I don't know. For me, when I write things down, it helps me kind of cognitively like remember things better. Like I'm putting the words to paper, or I'm journaling like how I'm feeling in that moment, or I'm journaling what my to-do list is, what I'm grateful for. I think gratitude goes a long way. You know, great what you're grateful for each day. Like, and it could just be different things every single day. But
Yeah, that's one thing I really got to work on is gratitude. I don't know. I just haven't really worked on it. I worked on like more so my negative qualities, and I do see improvement in that. But the one area I don't see improvement in is gratitude, and that's probably because I've been neglecting it. I haven't really been looking at gratitude.
yeah, man, and it's it's just it's good for you to like, acknowledge that, and it's for a point to okay, that's something like I want to change. But I do think it's honorable that you list the things that like you're not happy with yourself, or certain things that could be better and stuff. That's where it all starts. It starts with us being accountable. Hey, what have we not been doing well? What could we be better at? We have to be honest with ourselves, and like you said, nobody else might even see that. It's just your journal, but it helps with reflection. It helps you to kind of get out of the what do they like to say, the matrix of everything else that's going on in your life. And I just think journaling, especially like to start your day, is so great because it's like it's during the quiet time. It's during when like you don't have a million other things going on. It's literally the way you're starting your day. I think it's important, and I think you're starting to see more men doing it. I think for a long time men didn't do that, but
Yeah.
now they are more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that mindfulness, that silence is important. So it's great to get moving. It's great to get a physical movement or some type of movement to start your day, but it's also good to get mental movement
Mental
going.
movement.
So,
Yep.
yep. That's so important. And how your day is structured out. So I always say like I not every day, but there's a lot of days where I try to do something difficult to start. Like after I do all my small things, like I like to do something difficult to kind of start, like something that's going to be tough for me. It depends if it fits in that time frame of like the time that I have in the morning. But whatever it is, like I try to do something that's going to challenge me to start when I've done the small things, like make my bed, get up, do all those types of things. Just something challenging to kind of fuel me to start my day. Like whether it's deep work, right? Whether it's a tough workout, I go and I lift heavy things, right? Or get a run in or whatever it is. But it is different for everybody. Like I said, whatever your tough thing is going to be depending on what your lifestyle is. So
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I haven't really done like a hard thing every time I wake up. That's interesting. I actually probably should try it. I haven't really done that every time I wake up. I mean, I usually wake up every morning, make my bed, and then just like either go out, make myself coffee, or like do a workout, then make myself coffee. But yeah, I haven't done that hard thing in the morning.
Yeah, I would say a workout though is I would still consider tough, or even something that's mental. You know what I mean? I would say like even workouts can be tough, but yeah, it's different. Some days, like I said, some days that's how I start too. Like I say, a lot of days I do that, but there's other days too where I start and like I do the small things, and then like same thing. It's kind of like okay, I have some type of if I don't have like a million things on my to do list, I can kind of like journal, and I have more time to just kind of start my day with clarity, start my day with silence, like meditation, whatever it is to start. It doesn't always have to be difficult, but I do try to do that a lot of times just to kind of get me fueled, get me started. I like working out if I work out in the morning, like fast it without eating anything. And that's not, and like, again, that's not something that's maybe for everybody. I was just talking to one of my buddies who does that too. I feel good because I don't have like a heavy stomach to start my day.
Yeah.
It's different for everybody. I'll still drink coffee though. Usually.
Yeah. Having a heavy stomach to start the day, it typically makes that morning sluggish, but the afternoon good. I just don't like how it makes the morning for me.
Yeah. And sometimes you really just have to kind of play with your own play with your own strategy for it because everybody's body's different. So if you notice that like eating heavy for some people might work for them, right? It might not make them crash later, like you said. Some people, maybe it will make them cry. Everybody's body's different. Everybody's, health is different. So,
yeah, for sure.
You have to kind of figure out what works for you.
Yeah, and recently I've really figured out that everyone's body's different is because, I drink coffee. I'm wired for like 6 to 8 hours, right? My fiance, she drinks coffee and then goes and takes a nap. I'm just like, how are you able to do that? Like, where is this going? And
right.
Yeah, so it's like it's weird because all bodies, yeah, they're different, but also like all mental needs are different too. Like everyone's different physically and mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's unique. Everybody's different. Yeah, it's interesting. Like if I drink caffeine in the evening, I kind of am like a psycho. I feel like I could still sleep. I do wonder sometimes
Really?
I do wonder sometimes like how much caffeine actually even really does for me anymore. Maybe so many years of drinking it. Maybe I just really like the taste. I think I just like the taste of coffee.
Yeah.
And yeah, and for me it switches up the water all day, right? Because water's just plain. There's nothing to it. Like if it switches up like taste for me. I don't know. I feel like energy drinks, like if I drink like the fitness energy drinks and stuff, I've been trying to cut back on those, to be honest, even though they're like 5 or 10 calories, there's no sugar in them. I mean, there's artificial sweeteners in them, I can't think that drinking a lot of those are probably good for your health, so
yeah,
I'm trying to cut back on those, but coffee, I genuinely like the taste. I know some people that drink. I have one buddy, Sean. He drinks like 7 cups a day. I was like 7 cups a day. He just buys the pods off Amazon and just drinks like 7 cups a day of coffee.
That's absurd. I mean, I know if I have 2 cups, it's very hit or miss if I'm still up by like 10 or 11. Like sometimes I'm like extremely wired in to where it's like I can do anything right now and it's 10 p.m. or I'm crashing because I'm good. So it's different for me, but yeah.
Some people it's like they have like a complete tolerance to it. I don't even want to know. I like I said, I think I have a tolerance to it, but I can't imagine drinking 7 cups of like how wired I'd probably be drinking like that. Like it would be crazy. My brother's similar. My brother, I think a lot of it is all the years of drinking pre-workout powders, like going to the gym, drinking the high stim things. I'm like, I was never really a pre-workout guy, like with the powders and stuff, but it's different for everybody. So starting optimizing your day, that's a good way to start by not living in reaction mode, not answering a bunch of emails to start your day, text messages, going on social media, like Zach said, scrolling, like those things are like, they're not beneficial to start your day. Social media is a big trap for sure. That's one of I think the biggest ones is you catch yourself scrolling, like an hour goes by, 2 hours, you're laying in bed still.
Yeah, there was one time I remember that I I think it was like 15 minutes before bed, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna scroll just for like a couple minutes and then read my Bible. And then before I knew it, I like scroll to the next video, and it's like that pop up on TikTok. It's like, hi, I know you're scrolling, and I look at the time and I'm like, oh shit, it's midnight. And then I just went straight to bed, and I just completely forgot everything I was doing. But yeah, it was like I can get caught in those holes too. So it's definitely good to. I mean, I've deleted social media, like not like the account itself, but like the app. Just getting off that.
Yeah. That's good. And I know a lot of people that are starting to do that. They're starting to do it as take control. Like, I think if you're like a content creator, right, like you put content out and stuff, I think it's good to create content, but we got to be careful of consuming too much content. You even see a lot of content creators. Like, if you actually look at their page, they could have hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers, and then they could only be following like one or two people that they personally know. Like, they're not actually following a bunch of other accounts. And it's like, it's like I think some people it's tough for them because they really do connect with their friends through social media. Some people I know, like, that's literally their main source of connection is through social media. But you have to be honest with yourself. If it's becoming a big detriment to your vision and your goals, there's even apps out there that you can use now to like lock the apps so you can't go on at certain times, so you can't access it at certain times of the day. Because for me, it was like second nature for a while. It's just boom, I'm hitting Facebook, or boom, I'm hitting Instagram. It's like every time you have a moment, boom, you're hitting social media. It's like I've always said this when me and George used to host it together. We had so many episodes on social media. It's a blessing and a curse. It's a great way to connect with friends, family, people like me and you, man. Like to be honest, I would have me and you would have never even known each other if it wasn't for social media. But there's a lot of cons to it too, and you got to be careful because it can absolutely be a huge distraction.
Yeah, I also feel that with social media and being a content creator, I feel like it kind of you perceive it as, oh, I just do it just to create content, but you're also like consuming more than you're creating, and you're just like, oh no, it's because I need I need this for my my work, or I need to do research, but you're actually in reality just like looking at content.
Yep, all day. Yeah. And I don't know about you. I know for me, I used to a lot of the I'd be just consuming mindless content. I would like click the real things, and I'd be like scrolling down. I'd be like another thing. Kind of like how TikTok would be, but with like Instagram. Like I would catch myself on Instagram a lot of times doing that. I'm just like, this is just such like distraction. Like it's just not. Or somebody would be like, yo, do you see like this thing on Instagram or this podcast? And if it's like things that like aren't even like helpful, it's just drama. It's like a bunch of entertainment. And I think that's a thing too. I think a lot of people have entertainment addiction. I was listening to a podcast that was talking about that. Like a lot of people have entertainment addiction. I think it's just the dopamine hits, right? The quick dopamine.
Oh yeah, it's all the kids nowadays.
Yeah, it's all dopamine, but we're not doing anything to earn that dopamine. That's the thing. Like,
no, we're not.
I think things like say like movies and TV shows that can be great. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it's like if it's becoming such a distraction where you're not able to accomplish other things in your life, you have to like make it. You have to do things to earn that relaxation, right? Like don't just make your life around it. Like, but yeah, that's the reaction part about it. I was also going to say in my other segment, you want to set non-negotiable boundaries with yourself, guys. So that's an important one too. Non-negotiable boundaries. So boundaries around your communication, your work, like work as well. Like if you work for someone else, a lot of times people get caught, people pleasing, working outside of hours, maybe not getting compensated for it, and you don't know when to stop. Like setting boundaries are important too. Personal time, and that's the thing. Like you don't really owe anybody anything. Like I think that's the thing too. Is so many people feel they owe so many people things. You really don't. Like, I think good communication goes a long way. Like, if you're in a certain season of your life where you're busy with a lot of different things, just communicate. You don't ghost people who you're close to. You don't ghost and do all stuff, but just communicate ahead of time. I know that I think that's such a beneficial strategy. Is just so many things can be solved by just having good communication. Be like, hey, look, this season of my life, I'm going to be really big. If I don't get back to you right away, don't take it personally. It's just I have a lot of different things going on. I still will get back to you. I just might not really quickly.
Yeah, it's life, But yeah, no, I definitely I can relate with that personal the personal boundaries things. Like it was hard for me, and I noticed it was not really the best time in my life when I didn't really have personal boundaries, and when I started setting them, yeah, it upset people, but it made my life and my quality of life so much better to where I'm just like, okay, like personal boundaries, I'm starting to understand it and, get into it.
Exactly. I personally, as you start to do it more too, you feel more comfortable setting them. I think sometimes like people feel guilty setting boundaries, but the thing is, if you are people pleasing, you're doing so much for other people, but you're not pouring into your own life. It's just you're not really, it's good to be able to help other people or respond to other people. But you also got to take control of your own life too. Like if you're not happy, it's like you have to also prioritize your own happiness and your own goals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to prioritize yourself over others sometimes, and it sucks and it hurts, but it's like, yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you kind of reframe by set, instead of saying I have to do this, just say I choose to do this, or I choose.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's how you frame it. It's how you frame it. So I choose to do this, not I have to. It's I choose to. Yeah.
Right. I'm doing it because I choose to, not because I feel obligated to do it. And people who genuinely like love and respect you and care about you, they're gonna respect your boundaries. You know what I mean? They're not gonna be. And I'll be honest, if there's people in your life that don't respect your boundaries or like don't have any type of respect for that, sometimes that's God's way of weeding those people out of your life. I'm gonna be honest. Like it's just
exactly, yeah.
God does it himself sometimes. God takes out the trash, and then I mean, it's like you don't even see it sometimes like as that. You're like, oh, maybe if I'm wrong, but like you look back in hindsight as like time goes on, you're like, wow, like maybe that person needed to be removed from my life.
Yeah, I mean, he does that because he hears conversations you don't. So
yeah, that's very, very true. That's a good way to put it. Yep, he does. Those conversations. So yeah, have those boundaries as well. Another one is a way to take back your time, to rule your own environment, is to be able to. So when it comes to actually like creating an environment that's conducive to your goals, to your vision of what you want, right? So how do you curate that, right? So physical versus social environment. Like say like you have a physical environment for your workspace or whatever you have going on. You want to make sure that you're surrounding you want to make sure that you're if say like something, you have different goals outside of work, right? You have like your little workstation. You want to make sure it's distraction free. You don't want to have a bunch of distractions around you. And then also social distractions too. If there's people that are like a bunch of distractions in your life, you want to surround yourself with high standard people. I think that's the thing too, that like you're the average of the 5 people you spend your most time with. I think that that's so true. If you're hanging out with people that also say like you're elevating your life and other people aren't around you, it can become really tough. Like, especially if you spend a lot of time with those people. I'm not saying you have to completely drop friendships and things, but you got to be careful of how much time you spend with certain people, right? Like for sure. So if those people aren't elevating, those people aren't growing as well, it can be challenging, especially if they are in a part of your very, very close circle that you spend a lot of time with. Like I said, you don't have to completely end friendships because you could still have good friends. Like they could still be
for sure.
They could still be good friends. They just are in a spot of their life where they're, more stagnant. And, it's like everybody, I think, goes through stagnancy at some point, but you just have to be careful. You have to be careful.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even have 5 people who I hang out with that much to consider myself around with 5 people. I'm like,
Right.
wait, people have 5 people if they hang around with the most? Like, what? Do my
Right.
coworkers count? Like,
I feel like as you become older too, that kind of is like the real. That's like the truth of it. So,
mhm.
especially like if you get a partner too, you kind of like spend the majority of your time with your partner, or like you said, when you're working, right, you're spending the majority of your week at work. Like that's a lot, or a good portion of it, not the majority, but a good
Yeah.
portion of the hours in your week you're spending working. So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
natural. But yeah, you have to just have to be cautious. Like if there's people that are constantly negative, constantly complaining, that can really, really bring down your own mood, your own
Yeah.
energy.
Who are the 5 people that you hang out the most with? And like, how do they impact you?
So outside of the woman that I'm dating, I would say like friends wise, Mario is one of them. He's
Okay.
been on this podcast a lot of times. I'd say Rich and Rob.
Mhm.
And outside of that, on a regular basis, what a good point. Sometimes I see my buddy Frank. I would say probably I don't really have like 5 fully right now either at this point.
Oh,
You know what
wow.
I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. But I would say like the guys that I'm like there's guys I talk to like regular. I wouldn't say like I'm like meeting up with them in person though, right? I have mentors, I have different people, and I keep in touch. Like I try to at least like talk to them at some point throughout the week, whether it's a text message, something. But I don't really consider that like spending like intentional time in person, right?
Mhm.
I would say though, Rich, Rob, and Mario, like we all are very like-minded in terms of like having goals, working on growing. I would say we like those guys inspire me too, because
Okay.
as they're working on elevating, like I'm also doing the same. So we all have like kind of a like-minded mindset, which is why I think we get along so well.
Yeah.
And I really do think that we help kind of better each other in a way. So, we have our group
Nice.
chats, we have our accountability things and it depends on the season. I've had certain seasons where I was closer to certain friends, right? Like a couple years ago, me and my one friend Bill would do accountability meetings every single week, and I was probably very close with him in that season. Me and George used to do this podcast together, right? So me and George were very close in a certain season. I still talk to George, but
Mhm.
like we're obviously not as close as when we were like in terms of talking every single week when we did this podcast together. So different seasons call for different things, but yeah. How about you,
Yeah.
man? Like you think like coworkers and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, besides my fiance, I think it would probably have to be my coworkers because honestly, all I'd really do is go home, go to work, see my fiance, go to sleep, go to work, go see my fiance, go to sleep. It's kind of boring. I don't like it. It's not fun, it kind of sucks, but you know, it's what I got to do for the time being, and hopefully, God has a plan for me, and I make it out, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah. It's all about what you want too, man. Yeah, you're happy with that person, like you're building a future, you're building a life, right? I feel like that's normal. Like your partner's going to become like your best friend. It's
Mhm.
typical. It's always how it's going to be. It's going to be the person you're going to be spending the most time with. Um, that's typically always how it is. I feel like that's when the guys and the girls get together, right? Like the girls have their girls' night, or the guys have the guys' night. People are like, oh, like they're so excited to be away from their partner. Well, they're with their partner all the time. Like it's good
Yeah.
sometimes for the guys to get with the guys, right, and to be able to have that camaraderie. It's good for girls to get with their girls and be able to like have those conversations. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, you're with your partner all the time. It does not that you don't love the person. It's just you're around them all the time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's good. Like as guys, like I say, we value that camaraderie. Like be able to,
Yeah.
talk.
It's always fun hanging out with boys.
Of course. I also know some people that have probably been in relationships that fail because like they spend too much time with the boys. They don't spend the time with their partner. They spend more time with the boys or like their girls or going out
Yeah.
with their girls all the time. So yeah, it's
Yeah. I used to have a buddy who would just always hang out with this girl, and I was like, dude, like it's not that serious. And then now I've got a girlfriend, or now I have my fiance, and I was like, oh wait, I kind of see his point now. I'm kind of like
yeah,
being a hypocrite, but I didn't really understand at that time. But I mean, I try and delegate time to, try to delegate my time to where I'm not like burning myself out in the relationship. And I'm just like, you know, And I feel like that's what makes it a healthy thing, is like trying to burn yourself out, like delegate time, set personal boundaries, like you said, right? If that personal boundary is, hang out with them, 20 hours a week, make it 20 hours. Don't say 20 hours and then hang out with them like 50 hours, like you got to set personal boundaries.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can definitely get burnt out being around the person for so long. It definitely is. I think it's really healthy to have like even if you're not just around, like hanging out with friends and stuff, having like hobbies that are your own, right? Like it's great to have hobbies with your partner, but having hobbies that are also your own that just give you that time and space. Some people, I'll be honest, my brother, a perfect example, him and his girlfriend, they do like everything together. I mean, they obviously work different jobs, but they've been together for like 8 years and they love it. So like,
jeez, yeah,
everybody's different. Like they've been together actually coming up on 9 years, I think, in August.
Jeez, man.
And live together.
That's good.
But yeah, they love it though. And like I've had other friends that are like make jokes to be like they just say things like, why is he like they're up each other's ass all the time? Like, hey, to be honest, you can't judge because it works for them. Like they're happy and they're genuinely that works for them. But they're both like-minded in that way. See, imagine if you were with one partner that wanted that and the other person did, it would not work.
Oh yeah. No, that's impressive.
Yeah.
To Steven's brother, to your brother, I want to tell your brother, I'm holding 2 big thumbs up, man. That's impressive, dude. Good job. I don't know if he's listening or watching, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, his name's Dylan. Yeah, he's 2 years younger than me. And they've been together for a while, and it works for them. To be honest, I would like a dynamic where I have a little bit of space. It's like I'm not someone who's like avoidant and needs a ton of space. It's like, but I like a healthy amount of space where I have like time to, because I do believe, like you said, it can definitely lead to relationship burnout. You're around your person all the time. It's like you want to just value the time that you do have. Like say you have long days and then you get like, you get home to each other, and a little bit of time you have with each other, you value it.
Yeah. And then there's people in the middle where it's like, I want you close, but I don't want you that close,
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, you want this, but you want that as well, you got to find that happy medium.
Yeah, everybody's love language is different too. Some people don't like a ton of quality time together. It's not the top priority for them. For me, I value quality time with my person, but I also like some space too. But it's like, it's seriously. That's why it's important to have conversations. Like I said, a lot of this stuff can be fixed. Good communication. That's all.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just good communication. That's all it takes sometimes. But yep, your environment is important. So your social environment, environmental triggers. This is a good part that I had written down. I said, so make good habits frictionless and make your bad habits inconvenient. So like, for example, you're trying to lose weight, right? Take all, like, if you're somebody who's going to eat unhealthy, take all that crap out of your house. Don't even put it there, because you make it those bad habits inconvenient. It's going to be inconvenient. You got to leave the house, or you got to get on an app to order something. Don't put it in the house. Like, so perfect example. But
yeah, I mean, and then also, if it's like, you eat unhealthy, delete the apps off your phone too that make you to where you can access it. Like you gotta, like, yes, there are good steps, and what you're doing is good. Like that's good steps, but it's also like you kind of have to go the extra mile if you're gonna take all those steps as well.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. And there's so many precautions. Like, I'll give you another example. See, I'm somebody who's blessed that I've never really been in a situation where I've had to get into a lot of credit card debt, but there were times where I found myself putting more things on credit cards than I'd like to. So what I did, I froze all my credit cards. and it's so easy to unfreeze them. You just hit a button. But what it do sometimes, like when I would put things on, it would say your card was declined, but it's declined because it's locked. And I'm like, reminder, don't put crap on a card. Like, so it's like the cards are great for certain points, like the cashback cards, the mile cards. Yeah, you get certain things, but sometimes I would catch myself. Luckily, I didn't have like a lot. It was just, I was probably a little bit more strict than most on it, but I'm like, I'm putting things on, and it's really like, I don't really have it in my account right now. I know I'm going to pay it off next month, but it's kind of things I don't need. And I'm like, it would just be like, it's a reminder, your card's frozen. Because like when it becomes habitual that you do things like that, you don't even think about it. Like, it's like, you don't even remember that you locked it. It's like, oh, I set a promise to myself that I wasn't going to do this. Okay, I don't really need this. Like,
yeah. Not only is it like beneficial for you, but it's also beneficial mentally because you're keeping your promise. You're upholding yourself on that promise. And I feel like that helps you trust yourself, and that could really help with, all the things that we talked about earlier too. It starts with trust in yourself, and then it starts with like little things, but you can't have that without the trust in yourself.
Absolutely. Like, so when you don't trust yourself, it's really difficult. Like, you find yourself in a cycle. Like I said, a lot of times, people go, I'm going to start tomorrow, or I'm going to do this tomorrow. And it never happens that way. So Jocko Willink, there's a thing that he says, and it's like, I don't feel like doing it. Well, do it anyway. Like, sometimes it's not about the feelings of doing it. I think that's the difference between motivation and discipline. Mm-hmm. Discipline is doing things when you don't feel like doing it. Like, you're burnt, you're tired, I'm not saying to like burn yourself out, but a lot of times it's just majority of the time, it's our own battle with our minds, right? For a lot of things, you have to be able to use discernment too. If you truly are burnt out, yes, take a break. Don't burn yourself out. But a lot of times it's us we're in a low mood. We didn't have a great day. We set promises to ourselves to do something at the end of the day. We don't feel like doing it. But if you listen to how you're feeling all the time, that's going to be a really tough life for you long term. Like, you have to do things that are going to be uncomfortable sometimes. Like, if you live off of emotion, that's more like you're living for motivation. It's easy to do things when you're motivated, but you're not going to be motivated all the time.
No, motivation, it comes and goes, man. And you gotta stay disciplined. You can't be doing stuff just because you're motivated. You gotta do it because you're disciplined.
Yeah. I had a buddy like that. He's a bigger guy. He's tall. He's a tall guy. He's like 6'7", but he's like 300 and something pounds. He's a big guy. And he wants to like lose weight, go to the gym, but like he finds himself in periods where he's a good guy. He finds himself in periods where it's like he doesn't, like, he'll go, he's like all over the top, like motivated, like ready to go. And then just he stops like going because he's like, I need somebody to go with me. I need this. I need to be motivated. I'm like, and that's like where I was having a conversation with him the one day, and I was like, but that's your mindset right there. You need to be motivated. Well, I hate to break it to you, but you're just not going to be nobody is going to be motivated all the time. It's going to be on the days when you don't feel like doing it. And as you do it every time you don't feel like doing it, what's it going to do? It's going to build a habit. It's going to be something that becomes a non-negotiable to you. But it takes time. It's just time of doing the same thing, repetition over and over and over again until it becomes a habit. So
yeah, I saw something it takes 21 days to form a habit or something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I've seen that before too. And I try to empathize with him. I started telling him, I'm like, when I was talking to him, I'm like, this is a habit that this is like an issue, like the gym, right? Well, like this is an issue that a lot of people go through. A lot of people go through that. Like, they go to the gym in cycles because, like, especially if you're not somebody who's just actually, like, I personally like working out because I think it's a good mental health release. It's not even just about the workout sometimes. It's just a good mental release for me. So I've always enjoyed it. The harder part for me has more been the diet, like locking in on my diet and like that side of it. But for certain people, the diet is easy and the working out is hard.
Yeah.
So for everybody it's different. But I told him this is a common issue. A lot of people deal with this. But at the same time, like, it's good to acknowledge that. But also, especially as men, nobody's going to come save us. We have to be the participant in our own rescue. There's nobody who's going to come and save us.
No one's saving us besides Jesus. Jesus is the only one who can save us, but that's a different topic for a different time.
Exactly. When all is lost, God and Jesus, He will always be there. Like, it's like I've seen some people in the craziest types of situations, single parent, struggling, didn't have anything, and then gave their last to, like, honor God, and it comes back tenfold. I swear, it's even when you think you're down and out, you find a way with Him. Yeah, always. But yeah, discipline. I think that's the motto, and it's you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You got to find comfort in uncomfort, and just understanding that, like, that's a good way to frame it too. Is when you're going through a challenge, you're going through something you don't want to do that's tough, try to frame it as like, maybe there's a reason I'm going through this. There's a reason he wants me to feel this pain. He wants me to go this, because there's the man, like I'll say from a man's perspective, right? This could be a woman too. But like from the man's perspective, he's trying to like shape me into the man that I know I'm destined to become, right? I know what he's calling me to be. But that also requires you to shift your habits too. You have to understand that if the habits that you have now, a lot of them are going to have to die. So like a lot of the things you would do on a daily basis to get where, like, they obviously have not been working, right? They're not getting you any closer to your vision or your goals. Well, a lot of those habits are going to have to die. And a lot of times those habits die hard for people because they want the vision that they're being called towards, but they don't want to give up the habits that are not conducive to that vision. So
yeah,
it's tough. It's tough.
It really is. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not tough, but at the end of the day, that's life. Life is going to be tough. It's going to hit you. Like it's not going to be comfortable all the time and just, reassuring. Like that's not life. Life is just, it's going to be tough, but we go through the challenges for a reason.
Yeah. Life hits hard. It's kind of weird. It does hit very hard, but you just got to keep getting back up and just keep going, like you just got to keep on going.
Yeah. And I think it's on the other side of it. Like for me, when there's things I don't want to do and then like I don't do them, like, right, because I go off of how I'm feeling, I don't feel good about myself after that, especially if it wasn't like a burnout type of thing. I just didn't do it. I sabotaged myself with my own mindset. But the times when I do push through it, it sucks doing it because my energy level is like, oh, I don't feel like doing it. But when I push through doing it, you start to trust yourself more. You're like, okay, we got through that. Like we didn't feel like doing it, but we did it. Like,
yeah,
that's to your point, Zach. Like how you start to trust yourself again.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the things you don't want to do. Mm-hmm. So I had some prompts to go around for like the panel as I was kind of like ending, like getting towards the end here because I know we're like at an hour point.
Okay.
But since Rich and Nina aren't on and Rob isn't on, I guess me and you could just like go through these like quick little panel prompts, and I'll also frame it to you guys too who are listening out there. I had some comments from my boy John earlier before you came on.
He said it was peanut butter jelly time. I like it.
Yeah, I know. I was saying, I was like, peanut butter jelly time.
Yeah, dude, that video is so funny. Like the OG video, that one. I love that video.
Yeah,
it's like man. the isn't that the one with like the fat kid dancing on the couch or whatever?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. That's what I think of when I think of it. Yep.
Yeah. He's just like flailing around on the couch. Yeah.
It's like an OG thing, man.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
Like old school. If you know, you know. Yeah, a lot of this generation might not know, man. This Gen Zers, they probably don't know what that is. They're like, who's that?
Oh yeah.
It dates us. So I would say like, so questions to you guys too, who are out there too, and this can be between you two. So I would say when it comes to, this is a good one. When it comes to changing environment versus changing your mindset, which one for you would you think would come first? And I know what I would say. That's a good question.
That is a good question. I would say it would probably have to be, I think it would start with the mindset first. I think it starts with yourself. Like every single thing. I mean, it's been the theme of the podcast, right? Like waking up early, doing the one small thing. It starts with the small thing, and it starts within yourself. Because if before you can do anything to your environment, you've got to believe it first. You can't, be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be successful, but have like a losing mindset, and then think like, oh, it's not working. I told myself I was going to be successful. I made my environment to be successful, but it didn't work because you're not successful up here.
Yep. I 100% agree with you. I would say the same I would say the same thing. Like it all starts with the mindset, because I feel like the mindset is what's going to get you to change the environment too. Like a lot of times it's like it all starts with literally your mental capacity up top of like with the vision that you have, and everything starts there. And then you can change the environment to adapt to that vision. So I agree with you, but I thought it was a good question. I'm like, because some people probably might say environment. For some people, they would say that.
Yeah. I mean, the short term stuff in me was like, oh yeah, environment for sure. And then I was like, wait a minute, think about this long term. Long term, it's mindset. Short term, I feel like you can get by with environment.
Absolutely. Yep. This was a big one for me, so I can ask you, but you can take time to think about it. You don't have to ask. And this is to you guys out there too. How do you balance keeping boundaries flexible enough for your life, but firm enough that you don't compromise your vision? And that's a good one. And it's funny. I wrote these. I have like these questions that I typed out, and I like even have to think about it myself as I think about that. But boundaries were a big thing for me personally. Like that was one of the reasons I actually got into therapy was with setting boundaries in my life, whether it was friends, family, a relationship that I was in previously, like setting those boundaries. You know, I definitely had people pleaser habits like growing up for sure. I think it's conducive of the environment that I grew up into. Maybe it was more so, you know, I love my parents. You know, I always will say this on the podcast though. But me and my brother never really had like deep conversations with them about a lot of different things. So I think sometimes maybe it was trying to get the validation of them, right? Like, so that kind of goes into your other connections in life. And yeah, for me, it was never a problem when I was younger. When I first started working, like when I was like really young, sometimes I had the issue with overworking and stuff. But I'm actually really good at my career with setting boundaries. Like, you know, like, hey, if it's not in my timeline, if I can set boundaries pretty healthily in my career. I think it's because I'm not as close with those people though. Like, I think the people that I'm personally close to, it became more of a challenge for me to set those boundaries. It was difficult.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think just in general, I'm not very good at setting boundaries. I kind of do see that people pleasing aspect within me, and I think it came from like with you. I don't know your backstory, but it comes from my childhood. I was kind of a bigger kid. I was kind of like different size than everyone else, and I was made fun of that. So I kind of like turned my mindset to that people pleasing mindset. So and I mean, I'm working on like trying to be able to set boundaries and whatnot, but I feel like it's been kind of a challenge for me to set boundaries.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people struggle with it. Like I'm not afraid to be vocal about it over here, but I know I feel like a lot of people struggle with setting boundaries. One thing through therapy is like I've learned is that if we are constantly working to get the validation of others, or to the point where we're burning ourselves out, we're really not, like, if we're people pleasing and showing up for everybody else, but we're not pouring back into ourselves, how can we ever fully show up for other people? You're really not showing up full 100%, and because you're neglecting yourself. You're neglecting the things that you need to take care of in yourself. And I just know that, like I said, it all goes back to good communication. But people who genuinely love and care about you are not going to keep what do they say? Keep score against you, or like throw it back in your face for you setting boundaries with them. They may be a little disappointed at first, of course.
For sure.
But they're not going to say, like, to the point where they're going to end their friendship with you, or like say like it's your partner, they're going to end their relationship with you over it. I'm gonna be honest, if that's the case, then you are better off, because
she ain't for you if that's the case, or he ain't for you. Like, that's toxic, man.
No, and that person is going to struggle with anybody if they have that mindset. That they are going to struggle because it's very one-sided and it's not reciprocal. So I think we teach people how to treat us. I definitely do. I think we teach people how to treat us. That's something I learned in therapy too. Is like, we do. Like, if we're constantly people pleasing, it kind of shows in a way we've kind of somewhere along the way we're not really respecting ourselves.
No. Yeah, you got to set boundaries, earn that trust with yourself, earn that respect in yourself, and keep on going from that.
Absolutely. So I think for me, the balance, I don't have a perfect balance. I'm still growing and healing and like learning through that. But what I would say is firm enough that I don't compromise. Let me look at the question again. How do I balance keeping my boundaries flexible enough for life, but firm enough that I don't compromise my vision? So I would say I will not let down boundaries that are going to the point where it's like it's not conducive to where I'm trying to go. So it's like for me, maybe that's I have some goal I want to start like in my personal life, or like I have a certain thing. It's like I in certain seasons might just have to communicate with people and be like, hey, I love you. You're important to me. It's like, but it's like I'm not going to be able to respond to you all the time. That's why I say communication goes a long way. So it's just,
Oh yeah.
it's just communicating. It's just like, hey, I have this vision. I have this goal. You're still important to me. You're an important person to me. It's like I value our friendship, whatever your connection is to the person. But it's like, hey, I even think with your partner sometimes, right? Like you need to communicate to be on the same page. You guys could even be married and have kids. And it's like, hey, I want to start it. Like you sit down and you talk with your partner. I really want to go all in on myself. I want to start this business. Like, what do you think? Like, and it's like, hey, if I'm going to do that, I'm still obviously going to be there for you and the kids, but I may need you to do a little bit more here so I could pour in here, and then I will repay you in this season. You know what I mean? It's just, it's obviously never that simple. It's in-depth discussion, but just being able to take time to like, hey, can I talk to you? Can we get some time to just sit down and talk and just have those conversations? I just think that good communication goes a long way with being able to kind of vocalize your boundaries.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, if it's the right person for you, it's not going to matter. They're going to totally understand you, and they're going to support you, and they're going to be like, okay, yeah, I understand, and they're going to move on.
Exactly. Yep, and they're going to be supportive to you. Yep, exactly, and vice versa. Your partner has boundaries. You're going to be supportive too. It's your person. So, definitely. Yeah. And then anything else here? Schedule. Basically, I just have my wrap up thought here. So my wrap up thought, I try to add this here. It was this was the wrap up thought I have for you guys. And if you're not watching this live, you're watching this after, because I do have a lot of friends who will watch these podcast episodes sometimes after the schedule, and they'll comment on Facebook and stuff. So and still comment down below what you guys think of this too. If you're watching, being the architect of your vision isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily discipline. Reclaim your morning. Set the one non-negotiable boundary. Starting tonight or today, or even if you're going to do it tomorrow, Don't wait, and take control of your space. I think that kind of summarizes a lot of the things we talked about here. So, it's not a one-time decision. It's a daily discipline. It takes time. And it takes boundaries, and it takes changing that environment to kind of get you where you want to be.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And eliminating a lot of vices. Like I said, there's so many vices out there. So you have to figure out what your vices are. Some people might struggle with alcohol. I'm not someone who struggles with that, but I have some friends who have. For me, it was more so unhealthy eating habits. That was something I struggled with. So everybody's vice is different. So I feel like a lot of people struggle with gambling today, right? With the sports betting and all the other stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Vaping, smoking, another one, porn, another big one, entertainment. It's just, you got to figure out what your vices are, and be able to find ways to slowly dial it back and cut them out.
Yeah, for sure. And I really do like that thought that you had, the how your vision will change, but it'll always be the same end goal,
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I always thought, I'd be an engineer, but now I want to be, more of a motivational speaker. But there's still the same kind of goal in that. Being an engineer, what do? You build stuff to help people. But when you're a motivational speaker, what do? You motivate people, or you teach them about discipline, or self-respect or whatever. You're still helping people, but just in a different aspect of life. It's still the same goal. It's just a different avenue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. You're still helping people. You're still solving a problem. You're doing it in a different light. And I can kind of relate to you a little bit there, man. To be honest, as I've kind of gone through life, if you would ask me when I was younger, I probably wanted to be a lawyer or something else, or obviously the pipe dream, being an athlete, playing in the NFL, something crazy. But as I've gotten older, and I've had mentors that have also kind of delved into the space of life coaching and stuff like that. that's like something that I would love to do, to be able to help people one day, like be able to help and like take the knowledge like that I've learned through life in different aspects. And it wouldn't even matter like what it is, like whether it's your health or your, I work in finance right now. That's what I went to school for. And I have a passion for personal finance, helping people in personal finance, like different areas. But I want to be able to help people. And I know that God's calling. I think for both of us, to be honest, like sometimes he gives you a gift, right? He gives you a voice. And if you feel he's calling you there, don't shut that out.
Yeah. I mean, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something. You said something reminded me, and then I started listening, and then I just got distracted in my mind. The train left the station, But yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. It happens to me a lot. What I was saying was just that, God gives us a gift sometimes, and it's like, and I've learned that I genuinely just enjoy helping people. So, yeah, I feel like more and more like life coaching could be something for me down the line. It's something that I definitely have like a vision for now, like as I'm like getting older. And so,
yeah. I was gonna say, like, you're doing it right now, basically, right? With this podcast, you're reaching out. Like, people can see you on the internet, and you're giving out solid advice, right?
Yeah,
that's technically life coaching, and yeah.
I appreciate it, man, and I'm grateful for like the avenue for sure. Like, even though me and George don't do it anymore, like the people I met through him, through this podcast, and the people like I've met, like I said, like me and you, man. Like if I didn't do this podcast, we probably would have never met. So it's like, I feel like God has a purpose and a vision for everything. There's a reason why things
100%.
So, and I appreciate you reaching out too, because I still remember when you emailed me like to about this. This is like around winter 2023. I remember that.
Yeah.
It's just, but that's what these forums are about. Like you with your media stuff too on like Instagram and your reels, and I can always see your content is always improving, man. You're doing some great stuff with that, with the editing and everything. But see, it requires you to put yourself out there. And I was just talking to somebody about this literally last night. A lot like they want to do something, but they're afraid. And I was like, yeah, a lot of times people are afraid of judgment. But I said, I can't tell you how many people that I probably have met in some walk of life that are friends with me on social media. There's probably people that are probably like, this dude's still doing a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, this podcast don't have like any views. It's like there's always going to be people that are going to judge you or talk down on you. You can't be afraid to put yourself out there because and how I see it too is people who are genuinely happy with themselves aren't going to sit there and talk down on you anyway. So
no, it's only the people who are like jealous of what you have. Like no one who's successful is going to look down on you for starting. It's like an NBA athlete. Take Kobe Bryant. He's not going to look down on some high school and be like, "Oh, you suck,"
what a loser! Like, they're horrible. Like, it's like, because people who have reached a certain level of success, they had to go through a lot to get there. So, people who have really put the work in are genuinely happy with their lives. They're also going to be encouraging and motivating to you. They're not going to sit there and just talk down on you. So that's why I say it just takes you have to really be able to shut out the noise of what other people think. And if you do feel like God is calling you towards that, like to that avenue to speak to people, you got to think of the ultimate goal, right? Like of what he's calling you towards. And it's going to take some friction,
It will. Yeah. But without friction, you don't get fire.
Perfect. Exactly. So you need that friction to get that fire. That's a perfect way to put it. But that's pretty much what I had for here. But it's just like, I think a lot of people struggle to control their life, depending on like what your aspects are. I feel like, or what the aspects of your life are. The more you have going on, sometimes you're more reactive to your own environment. But you absolutely can reclaim your time. You can reclaim your environment. It just takes some time to sit down, introspect, and be able to kind of. I say first and foremost, figure out what your vision is. Figure out like what you're being called towards. That's the first start. Because everything else kind of branches out, right? Like it's like it starts up here and it just branches. Every other action you take on a daily basis is going to be towards that. So you have to really figure out what you're being called towards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Yeah, I want to say, brother, I appreciate you taking the time to come on. Like I said, this episode was a weird one to start because it was kind of short with like the calendars now been put together for August, so it didn't really give me a lot of opportunity to plan for this one. But I was grateful for whoever could come on, and I had some people listed as tentative that couldn't make it. I'm grateful that you were able to come on, man. You know,
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Appreciate that, brother.
Yeah. I was, I've always been wanting to come back on and, just kind of, talk to you and just be on the podcast, be, as much of a help as I can. But lately my schedule has been so slammed where I'm just like, oh gosh, I don't know if I have time at all for this. But, I finally had like a free evening and I was like, yeah, let's do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever's going to be planned after I plan the podcast the day before, screw it. I'm doing the podcast.
And even the times you can't make it, I appreciate the honesty too, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, like we always got to be honest with ourselves, right? Like I used to be somebody who would be like trying to overschedule myself, trying to do certain things. Now I just vocalize to like certain friends. I have friends that are, one of my buddies right now, he's getting into day trading and he's got this whole group that he set up. And I told him I would love to know more about the information, but realistically, I have a bunch of different projects I'm working on. So adding day trading to my list right now is just not going to be feasible. But I was like, keep me in the group. And I was like, and I would love to absorb like the information you guys are building, like when I have time, obviously. So, but you got to be honest. Like it's just, so I appreciate that, man. Appreciate you talking about that time.
Yeah, no problem. Always a pleasure to be on here.
Absolutely, man. And I know we'll talk in the next couple of days too. I know we were talking about other things behind the scenes, but man, I just want to say I appreciate it. I know we're in different time zones too, so it's like it's not always easy to record.
Yeah, it's a little tough, but we make it work.
Exactly. But man, I just want to say, like I said, I know me and you will still be in touch, but still, I just want to wish you to have a great weekend. To everybody else out there, likewise. It's literally last couple days we have right here in July, and it's crazy to think that August is around the corner. So when we flip the calendar to next week, it's going to be August, episode 262. And if you guys haven't seen Instagram, Facebook, we got the calendar out, so go check it out.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Well, you have a good night, my man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you as well, man. It was fun to be on here. Have a good one.
Take care, brother.
Peace.